press free at the far post. Rendell! Unbelievable! Conference side, Luton lead at Premier League Norwich.
To get this club into the league, I was in the Football League, so that wasn't my vision. My vision was to build a football club that can do better than that. And that might take time, but you know, it was to get a foot on the ladder and to pull ourselves up and keep going, because that's what the club would like to happen.
Out wide, but Dutchess goes for the shot, it's deflected and in! Wallace rounds the keeper, Wallace is in! Looking for Cullen heads on and in! Shot, he's hit it low, it's through the wall and in! Inside the area to Gray's onside, and he's found the back of the net! You see the far post, headed up by Southport, Welch is underneath him with a shot, what a goal! Tries to get it onto his left foot, lays it to Smith, what a goal! Looking for Benson's header, and Benson's in! Far post, there's a chance for Gateshead, it's tipped over by Tyler, classic post, and then it's in from Howe, Ruddock, oh what a goal! Robinson gets a high ball into the area, and it's Luton, and it's in! It's Matt Robinson! On to Wall shot's taken a deflection and in!
because I want to build something special. I would like to be here for a long time. I would like us to be a Premier League club. We're a long way off that, but we are closer than we were 9 games ago.
take it and it isn't alright. I'm not gonna make it, and I think my shoes untied. I'm like a broken record, I'm like a broken record, and I'm not playing right. Just cynical, how about you kill me till you tell me on the heavenly phone. So hold tight, come on, come on. Oh, oh, come on, come on. Don't let go. Hold tight, hold tight. Oh, oh, it's alright, you said. I got my hands up shaking just to let you know that you've got a higher power. Got me singing every second, dancing every hour. Oh yeah, you've got a higher power, and she really someone I wanna know. This boy is electric, this boy is electric, and you're sparkling like the universe connected. And I'm buzzing night after night after night. This joy is electric, this joy is electric, and you're circuiting through. I'm so happy that I'm alive, happy I'm alive at the same time as you. Cause you've got a higher power, got me singing every second, dancing every hour. Oh yeah, you've got a higher power, and you're really someone I wanna know. You got, yeah, you got a high. You got, yeah, you got a higher. You got, yeah, you got a high. You got, oh, you got, oh, you got a high. You got, yeah, you got a higher. You've got, oh, you got a high. My hands up shaking just to let you know now. You've got a higher power. You got me singing every second, dancing every hour. Oh yeah, you've got a higher power. You're once in any lifetime. I'm going a million miles an hour. When for so long I've been down on my knees, then your love song set me over and over. For so long I've been down on my knees till your love song floats me over.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, from wherever you're watching on in the world. Welcome to this, the Luton Town Supporters Trust Player of the Season presentation event for the season 2020-2021. Coming up, we've got 9 awards to give out to players ranging from Goal of the Season, Man of the Match at Kenilworth Road, Man of the Match away from home, and also Young Player of the Season, as well as the Players Player of the Season, and of course the coveted Luton Town Supporters Trust Player of the Season. We'll be speaking to manager Nathan Jones, captain Sonny Bradley, also chairman David Wilkinson and CEO Gary Sweet. Plenty for you to sit back and enjoy over the next couple of hours. We're starting though with the Goal of the Season award It's sponsored by Thompson's Accountancy, and I'm pleased to welcome to have a chat with us the Luton legend that is Mr. Mick Harford. Welcome, Mick.
Come on, you hatters.
Great stuff, Mick. Thank you very much for giving up your time to be with us for this, the Luton Town Supporters Trust presentation virtual evening. Let's talk about the season itself first of all. A very different season, obviously COVID related throughout. How's it been for yourself personally?
Personally, really enjoyed the season. Obviously, we've had a great season. How we finished the season has been excellent as well. But as you well know, we're all disappointed because the fans are not there. There have been some great performances down at Kenilworth Road this season. And it would have been even better if all you guys had been there pushing and probing and just being there. The 2 games we did play against Norwich and Preston, it was great to see them back, to see you back in the stadium. But it's going to be a bit surreal and a bit different when there is a full house down there. So it's something we're really looking forward to as a club, as a group, and I'm sure the players will be also.
You talked about those couple of games, obviously Norwich and Preston. There were some great results there as well, but perhaps the big result that everybody would have packed out Kenilworth Road and we could have sold 3 times over was the wonderful victory over Watford. How much did you enjoy that one?
Oh, we were brilliant that day. Arguably the best performance of the season from start to finish. You know, we controlled the game, and it's just, and again, I forever keep repeating myself. It's just a shame the supporters weren't in. Would have been a terrific atmosphere. Would have been absolutely amazing that day. But the performance was excellent, and the boys turned up that day and rolled them over properly. A real proper performance.
And obviously your job has changed slightly this year from last time we spoke for the last presentation night. You've been alongside Nathan Moore as an assistant manager, but still keeping your hand in with the recruitment as well.
Yes, as we all do at the football club, we all look to. I'll have one foot in one camp and the other foot in the other camp. Yes, just whatever's needed to be done. What supports Nathan needs, whether it's going scouting, watching games, whether it's supporting on match days on the training ground. Just here help as much as I can. That's my role at the moment. I'm really enjoying it. As you say, we've had a fantastic season, and looking forward to the challenge ahead in terms of recruitment and bringing other players in.
I know how much you enjoy the recruitment aspects. The Sky cameras have picked you up a few games towards the end of the season, watching opponents and also potential players and no doubt targets for the forthcoming season ahead.
Well, we're out and about. Most of the staff's out and about most evenings watching games. It was just either fortunate or unfortunate that game was on TV at Brentford. I got caught on camera there. There's a couple of other managers there. Mick McCarthy was there looking at certain players. But no, it's the work we do. We go out and about. We travel. We watch games. We try and keep our finger on the pulse and try and recruit properly and try and get the right type of players for the football club. So we're out and about. Not just myself, the manager, all the coaching staff.
And that recruitment is key for every football club, but also particularly at this stage in, COVID times. And also, we haven't got the big budgets that other clubs in the Championship have got. So, you talk about some of the players that have brought in this season, Jordan Clark, Cal Naismith, Elijah Adebayo, to name but a few, all had tremendous success with Luton Town.
Yeah, they've had a great season. Absolutely fantastic. The performances have been great. The way they are around the place, the personalities, they've blended in very well with the rest of the squad, and it's been an absolute joy to work with those 3 lads coming in, and it's worked out for us. It's been a fantastic in terms of recruitment. We are quite unique in the way we try and do things, because we basically, as a football club, we're all involved with it. We all get involved with it. Obviously, the final say is down to the manager. Totally understand that. So no, it's been a good season all round.
And it'd be remiss not to mention, of course, the loan signing that's set Kenilworth Road alight this season, Kiernan Dewsbury Hall. The manager not always keen on bringing in loan signings, but when you've got somebody of Kiernan's quality for the entire season, that's a real bonus, isn't it?
Well, we got Kiernan late, as you're going to do, because Kiernan was part of the Leicester City squad as they went through pre-season and played games. We had to be patient, we had to wait, we had to Nathan had to sell the football club to him in terms of how we can make him better, can we improve him, the position he'll play in, and he's done absolutely brilliant. He's done fantastic, and we're absolutely thrilled with the progress he's made. I'd watched him lots and lots of times. Obviously, Nathan, whilst he was in between the two jobs, Stoke and Luton, he watched him. So we knew all about him. We knew what he's about. But he's come in and he's been absolutely brilliant, and he's been a massive success for us. And as you say, we don't really like loan players. We believe it's dead money. And you're improving players for other people's clubs. We try and we do like our own players, and maybe we'll put a little cheeky bid in for Keenan.
And just finally, before we look at the Goal of the Season award, your thoughts on the summer ahead for you? Of course, you've got a full summer this season as opposed to last. Your thoughts and your plans and the progression that the club can continue to make.
Yeah, it's been a real tough season this season, and you've got to give credit to the manager and the players. The players have been excellent. I mean, in terms of the condensed season, the amount of games they've had to squash in. Every team, every club's had to do it. But where we are in the football ladder, and you mentioned earlier the budget, we've overachieved. We've done fantastic. It's going to be difficult summer recruiting players. Always is when we have our own salary cap, when we millions below other clubs in terms of where they are in the league. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge we all enjoy, a challenge we like, and a challenge, I'll be honest with you, we look forward to.
That's great. Thanks very much, Mick. Well, we'll take a look now then at the Goal of the Season contenders before you can announce the winner.
I'd love to. Thank you.
Because I'm so you're so golden. I don't wanna be alone.
So then, Mick, some great goals that we've just seen there from this season. But who has been nominated and selected as the goal of the season winner for 2020-2021?
The goal of the season winner for 2020-2021 is the goal scored at Wickham by Kasenga Lawar. Well done, Kaz. Congratulations.
Kazenga Luar, the goal of the season winner. Congratulations on the award.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Let's just run through that goal then. 1-1 against Wickham, isn't it? And we've got a corner which Kiernan's laid off to George in a short corner, and he's given it to you on the edge of the box. What happened next?
When George gave me the ball, it was literally one thing in my mind, really, just to get the ball, just to have a shot. Then obviously it was nice. The ball went in the back of the net, so I was really, really happy.
You often hear players say that they know as soon as they've hit a shot if it's in the back of the net. Was that the case with you? Did you know it was going straight in?
When I hit it, I kind of slipped a little bit, so I wasn't too sure if it was going in the back of the net. So obviously, of course, I was happy it went in the back of the net, and the game was 2-1, which is put us in a good position.
And then, of course, Elijah got the third one, and we won the game. You scored some big goals, some important goals for Luton Town. Where does that one stand on the list?
I think the best one has to be Hull City away, because obviously it was big for the club, just to put in the club in a good position to stay in the league. That was the most important thing. So I would say obviously the weekend goal was good, but the most important goal I would say against Hull City last season.
And one of the other goals that we remember is the one that you scored in the last minute at Walsall, which created all sorts of scenes in the away end. And I guess that was all that was missing for this goal at Wickham, wasn't it? A packed away end behind that goal that would have gone absolutely delirious with that ball hitting the back of the net.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, imagining there was a lot of Luton fan that was there when the ball went in the back of the net. Like you said, it would have been nice if the fan was there. But obviously, we have the rules now. You have to follow the rules. But it will be nice when the fans are back to the stadium, because obviously football without the fan is not the same. So it will be nice to have them back. That's for sure.
Yeah, we can't wait to be back there. Congratulations on the award, Kazenga. Well deserved. Fantastic strike.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Now there ain't nothing to it. Go ahead and bring Goliath on. Ain't no giant, I ain't gon' fire on. Catch a fade, you I'm wrong.
Andy Warren was diagnosed with Wilms tumour at the age of 8 months in November 2018.
We didn't start to think about the financial implications that this cancer diagnosis was going to have on us, and how...
Financially, we were struggling, and I remember at one point I was counting pennies just so that we'd have enough to get into the hospital.
We just got into horrendous problems with our mortgage. It was literally a case of, do I pay my mortgage or do I put fuel in the car to take my child for chemo? And obviously there's no contact.
Just being in hospital cost you a lot of money. Eating and being there and parking the car and travelling back and forth.
How would you feel if it was your child that needed to go for treatment and you couldn't afford to take them there? Your child potentially could die.
next award is the Bobbers Travel Club, and that's the Away Player of the Season award. And I'm pleased to welcome along from the Bobbers Travel Club, Stuart Smith. Thank you for joining us, Stuart.
Hello, Simon. Thank you for having me.
So the Bobbers Travel Club, just tell us a little bit for fans out there that aren't quite sure of what you do and who you are.
Yeah, so the Bobbers Travel Club's been going for 42 years. First game that fans attended was back in 1979. It was founded by our travel club founder, Steve Russell, who's still part of the travel club committee to today. The first game was back in 1979, 0-0 against Cambridge United. And ever since then, Luton fans have been travelling with us to every single competitive game, right through up until the 7th of March last year, when the pandemic kicked in, and that game was the away game at Wigan when we drew 0-0. So fans have not been going to any away matches since that day, and the travel club has been keeping connected with fans all the way through the last sort of 12, 14 months through various different formats, through social media. We've got our Facebook page, we've got our Twitter page, which we get as many messages out to supporters as much as we can. And we've also been running our virtual meetings where we've just tried to keep all the fans connected through those periods of time. It was always quite a tight-knit group. They always travelled with us on the coaches, but losing that sort of social contact, we wanted to make sure that it didn't disappear and they can still talk about the games that are coming up and talking a little bit about the football, what's going on. And we've had some really, really good feedback from the members over the last 14 months for those that have been joining our sort of fortnightly shows that we've been putting on for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just about an hour and a half's worth of football on a Saturday when you're travelling to an away game as well. It's the making the friendships, it's having the experiences and having the time together and catching up. And, you know, you're travelling with friends all the time, aren't you?
You are, and I think that's the most important thing. It's when we do actually get back to games next season, it just feels that there hasn't been any sort of time where we've not been able to connect with each other. It's been pretty much all the way through. I know the end of season last year, it was a very short summer period because of the season ending a lot later. So those last 14, 15 months, fans have just been connected all the way through, and it's well, we've just completed our 25th show this week, and we've got one more show coming up next week just for the members, just to celebrate what has been a fantastic season for Luton Town Football Club.
It certainly has, and let's have a quick chat about the season itself. I mean, a top half finish in the end is incredible considering where we ended up last season. For yourself personally, a few highlights from the campaign that you've just watched?
Yeah, I think from a travelling point of view, if we were able to travel this season, there's been some really good wins on the road. I think when you look back to September when the season kicked off, and considering where the team finished this season so far in the playoffs, Barnsley, a great 3 points to kick off the season with James Collins scoring in that 1-0 win. A lot of the games this season, I think my sort of top three, I think the most recent game away at Bristol City, from being in a position of 2-0 down, certainly away from home. We did it at home against Sheffield Wednesday, but we came back and won that game brilliantly. That was the second game in the row where Luton has scored 3 on the road. Wycombe was the second one that I think was my top choice. We were 1-0 down. They were very resilient. They're battling them to keep themselves in the championship. And Luton put 3 goals in the back of the net and won 3-1. And the third game was just after Christmas, actually. The away game at Bournemouth. Bournemouth coming up from being relegated from the Premier League last season. I thought that was just such a resilient display, and to get 3 points in what is a team fighting for promotion back to the Premier League.
Yeah, there's certainly been some fantastic away victories this season, hasn't there? And I know that you'll all be keen to get involved over the summer to be working towards the preparations and all the plans for hopefully getting back into away grounds next season.
Yeah, we'll start looking at what the opportunities are and what crowds, if crowds are able to get back, and away crowds. So hopefully we can get those coaches back on the road and continue what we've been doing over the past 42 years. Providing a service for Luton Town supporters to get to all the away games.
And I understand that the Bobbers Travel Club put in a lot of money over the years as well to support the club with various ventures, particularly medical equipment has been key recently.
Yeah, so the supporters, when they're travelling with us, they pay their fares for the coaches. We take money in from raffles on the coaches. So there's various different revenue streams that are coming in. So at the end of each season, we always reach out to the physio department. We've had a really good special relationship with Simon and the rest of the team at the physio department, just to ask really what sort of equipment that we can pass on to the football club, or what they were looking to go out and purchase with the monies that we were willing to donate to them. And over the years, there's been some really good pieces of equipment that the club have been buying. And that's really helped rehabilitation on various different players. Certainly recall Jonathan Smith benefiting it from over the years, and other players that have taken serious injury. And the club have really appreciated what we've done.
Just concentrating then on the award that you're going to announce in a moment, the Away Player of the Season. Talk to us about how the members used to vote for this award and how they've had to do it during these COVID times.
Yeah, so every single away trip, depending on how many coaches we've taken, we've always given the members the opportunity to pick their Luton Town man of the match. So on the away trips coming back, walked up and down the coaches asking who their votes would go for. We collate all the votes together. We announce then the top 3 players, and whoever's won on that day, we put those points towards the end of the season to announce the overall Luton Town Player of the Season. Right at the beginning of the season, we realised that fans won't be travelling to away games. We didn't want to miss out on the opportunity of giving an award at the end of the season. We didn't want to start thinking at the end of the season, really, who is our Luton Town away player. So we thought of the option of putting that vote out to members for 24 hours after each away game on social media platforms such as Twitter and Facebook to get the members to vote. And we just thought that was the most fairest way. And the supporters really engaged with that. And we had some real high number votes coming in each game.
That's great to hear. So finally then, Stuart, announce for us, who is the Bobbers Travel Club Away Player of the Season?
Yeah, so the away player of the season, as chosen by our members, is Simon Sluga.
Simon Sluga, the Bobbers Travel Club Away Player of the Season. You've won it. The loyal fans who would normally travel to away games, they've voted you as their player of the season. Obviously they've had to watch on the internet this year, but how does it feel to be voted player of the season by those loyal fans who travel up and down the country?
Well, of course it's a big privilege to receive this award, especially from the fans, from the supporters, and I want to thank you all that have voted. It makes me very happy, and I'm very proud. Of course, it's a special feeling to be awarded by the fans. I remember last season, every away game, we had a massive support. It means so much to us. It's a different story when the supporters are there on the stands, and I really looking forward to next season, where all of you are gonna be there, and we can sing at the end of the game when we win away. We know how nice it's to win away, and to be there and to clapping on you and you clapping to us. So thank you one more time, and not just for the award, but for every trip that you're making, that you are having, or I don't know how to say. So every game that you are there, and yeah, thank you.
Oh, hello, I'm Sam. I'm a brown owl. You know, for my Poppy's brownies, not a real owl. I'm just internet shopping. Oh, Don't you just love it? Oh, I never used to, but since a friend introduced me to easyfundraising.org.uk, every time I shop online I feel great, because now I'm raising money for Poppy's brownie unit. It works like this. Whenever I shop online through easyfundraising.org.uk, the retailer gives a small percentage of what I spend back to our brownie unit to say thanks for shopping with them. Simple as that. So today, I'm buying clothes for the kids, car insurance, and a new washing machine. And it's not just for brownies. Over 500,000 people use Easy Fundraising for all sorts of good causes. Take Barry, my husband. He's an artist, a martial artist. This year, his karate club raised enough between them to buy lots of new equipment. And then there's my mum. She raises money for a donkey sanctuary. And now all her friends at the social club do too. And it's so simple to use. All you do is sign up to support your cause, shop with your favourite retailers, and start raising funds for whatever you're passionate about. So far, over £5 million has been raised through easyfundraising.org.uk. So sign up today and start raising valuable funds for free.
Our next award is the Kevin Catlin Memorial Trophy. It is awarded by the Supporters Trust Committee to an individual who has got outstanding contribution to Luton Town Football Club. And I'm pleased to welcome to have a chat about the award and other things regarding the Trust. It's their chairman, Tony Murray.
Evening, Simon.
Good evening to you too, Tony, and welcome along to the Supporters Trust presentation evening, albeit a virtual one. So let's kick us off. Let's tell those viewers and the fans out there a bit about the Trust and how the last year has been for the Trust.
Well, as most fans know, the Trust has been in existence since 2003. Came about as a result of supporter action regarding many of the battles that we've been through with some rogue owners. And it's become an effective vehicle for supporters to get involved with the club. We work very closely with the club. We have shareholding in the club, and we also have various image rights for the club as well. And this year has been very busy one for the Trust. We're trying to gear up and go a bit more professional, and to offer supporters more value for money, as it were, so that we can also offer more involvement with the club and greater feedback and work to bring the club and the supporters closer together and make us a more unified community. We have a very professional board now who've certainly upped the game. Our membership continues to grow. We work, as I said, very closely with the club. We've held the first supporters survey. Also continue to produce monthly podcasts, which have been very successful. We have listeners from all around the world. We continue to have great download figures, and we're in a unique position in that we can get some interviews with people that matter at the club, as well as players. So that's all been good. We've been improving our communication with all our members, and the future looks quite bright for us. We've got loads of ideas about going forward, how to become closer to our members, and that we can offer them more for their membership fees. So it's a good time to join the Trust and become a member, because the more members we have, the greater the strength we've got, the more influence we've got with 2020, and we can continue to work quite closely with them to ensure the future of our wonderful football club.
Certainly sounds as though a lot's been going on behind the scenes during the behind closed doors games, and plenty of work going on with the Trust and the committee, and lots to look forward to in the forthcoming years.
Yes, definitely. It's been a very difficult 18 months for us, for everybody connected with the club, and you know, for all supporters. It's very hard to watch from a distance and miss meeting, you know, our fellow supporters and friends at games and getting behind the lads and hoping that they win. It's been a fantastic season for us as a club, and we've done really well in the Championship, and we continue to move forward. So we're all looking forward to getting back to Kenilworth Road at the start of next season, and hopefully drive the club onto greater heights.
I mean, that's certainly something for all fans to look forward to, isn't it? Getting back and watching games live. Obviously, just a couple of games at Kenilworth Road this season with 1,000 and 2,000 fans at, and even those numbers really did make a difference, and they were great victories. Just looking at the season then from your perspective, a couple of highlights for you from what you've watched and seen from the league campaign.
Yeah, the relative success in the Cup. Plus as well the home win over the unmentionables from down the road, with it not only a win but a really great performance, and it's got to be one of the best 1-0 hammerings I've ever seen. Doing the double over Wycombe, which people who listen to the podcast will know that would have been a particular favourite of mine. We've seen some great goals, and it's nice to have gone through a season without having to look over our shoulders at the relegation trapdoor.
Yeah, certainly a top half finish is, I think, beyond expectations, and all fans would have been really proud of the club and everything that's gone on this season.
Yes, definitely. We're progressing, and the beautiful thing about it is we're doing it within our means. We're not stretching ourselves. We're not getting into debt or financial difficulty, so we're in a very strong position as a club. And also, we've got a lot to look forward to with Power Court as well.
Of course, plenty of developments behind the scenes as well for the future of the club. And, we're seeing elsewhere fans protesting about their owners at their football club, but that's certainly not an issue at Luton Town. And, we're so privileged to have the board and have the supporters that are putting their money in and dealing with the club on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, I do talk to a lot of fans from other clubs. And, when I get the chance to tell them about the gospel according to 2020, I do take that opportunity. And there's a lot of envy there as well in that fact. A lot of them feel that their club have become isolated from their supporter base. And that's not the case with us. We're doing things properly, we're doing things the right way, and I honestly think with the move towards changing football governments, the powers that could learn a lot from talking to our board and our supporter base as well.
Well, moving on then to the award, it's named after Kevin Catlin, who sadly passed away a few years ago. It's the Kevin Catlin Memorial Trophy. It's always a difficult choice for the Trust Committee to make, to pick out one individual each year that's given an outstanding contribution to the football club. Just tell us a bit about the chosen person this year and why they've won the award.
Well, this particular person, together with the group that they have formed, have done a lot for the club, to support the club and to support Solid with the development of our youth, particularly in the wilderness years in the conference when the Football League and FA funding stopped. They continued to support the club from afar and donated a lot financially. And when they get the chance to come over, they do. They regularly come to games, and of course they tend to inject a lot into the local pub's economy as well when they do come here. And it's always a pleasure to see them. They've got a reputation for being a bit crazy and everything, but they're all good fun and they're all great guys.
So then, Tony, you've said a bit about why they've won the award. Time to give us the name of the person that's going to receive this year's Outstanding Contribution Award.
Yeah, the person who's won this, and it's a well-deserved award, is Tommy Lundqvist from the Scandinavian Hatters. It's wonderful for this group of people to come together and follow our club. And although none of them are Lutonians, but they come over, they're dedicated, they follow the club, they're true Hatters, and they've done a lot to help us and make sure that the club has survived over the years. So I know Tommy has worked very hard with this, putting the group together and continuing to raise funds for the club. So I think it's a well-deserved award, and it's about time too as well.
Thank you very much, Tony, and congratulations to Tommy Lundqvist.
Tommy Lundqvist of the Scandinavian Supporters Club. I've got a confession to make, Tommy. I've brought you here with you thinking that we were talking about Solid, but actually I'm here to announce that you are the winner of the Luton Town Supporters Trust Kevin Catlin Outstanding Appreciation Award for all the work that you've done with the Scandinavian Supporters Club. So I've got you here on false pretenses, but congratulations. It's a well-deserved award.
Okay, I didn't know that. Really surprised. Yep.
I apologise in advance for that, but we didn't want to tell you in advance. We wanted to make it a surprise. The work that you do, with the Scandinavian supporters on behalf of the club, the whole of the community of Luton, we thought it was something that should be recognised, and we're recognising it by giving you our Outstanding Contribution Award. Just talk us through the Scandinavian supporters, how many of you there are, how easy it is to follow Luton or how difficult it is to follow Luton, and how you do it, really.
Yeah, we're trying to connect. My side is mostly the Swedes, and at the moment we connected with messenger chat during the games and before the games, just to keep together. At the moment we are about 20 Swedish supporters, and with the Norwegians that are even more crazy. It's a good way to get together and make annual trips to Luton. And the fun thing is to bring new supporters to visit Luton. That's the main thing. And at this time with Corona, we need to find new ways to connect to each other. Even we can't go to Luton.
I was going to ask you, actually, I mean, with COVID and everything, obviously none of us have been to games this season, have we? It's been a bit of a different one. Have you still managed to sort of follow Luton throughout the season?
Yeah, we can see all the games almost through iFollow. That's a fabulous service. So almost every game.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah.
So the Scandinavian supporters, then, how long has the club been going on? And it's not just the football club that you contribute to, is it? It's the sort of local area as well, and Solid, and all parts of the club.
Yeah, all parts. Yeah. I think we began in the early 90s, late 80s, and since then we're trying to follow Luton and be there almost every year.
Yeah, that's an amazing contribution. What have you made of the season then that's just finished? 12th place finish, fantastic top half finish, some great games as well. Pick out one or two games that you really enjoyed for us.
Yeah, actually I can't remember at the moment. It was a surprise.
The win over Watford was a highlight there, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great. And of course, once COVID has passed and the world is back to normal again, I'm sure we'll be seeing you over at Kenilworth Road once again.
Yeah, absolutely. Would love to visit you in August if it's possible during the opening of this new season. But we don't know. Still waiting.
We're keeping our fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We're keeping off. And of course, in the future, we're going to be going to a brand new stadium at Power Court as well. So it's really exciting times for Luton fans all across the world.
Yeah, that's right. We've been waiting for several years.
We certainly have.
I think the first time I went over, I saw the miniature of the Kohler Dome long time ago, but it's still in the memories. And now it seems like it's time to get to a new site.
Absolutely, yeah. We're all hoping and looking forward to Power Court happening. Tommy, as I said, you are the winner of the Outstanding Contribution Award this year. Congratulations.
Thanks.
We're all really grateful for the fantastic work that you do. Keep up the good work, and we look forward to catching up with you next season.
Yeah, thank you.
Don't let the sun catch you crying. The night's the time for all your tears. Your heart may be broken tonight, but tomorrow in the morning light, don't let the sun catch you crying.
Luton, outside left, Tony Gregory made ground and put the ball dangerously into the middle.
The nighttime shadows disappear, and with them go all your tears. For the morning will bring joy for every girl and boy. So don't let the sun catch you crying. We know that crying's not a bad thing, but stop your crying when the birds sing. It may be hard to discover that you've been left for another, but don't forget that love's a game, and it can always come again. Oh, don't let the sun catch you crying. Don't let the sun catch you crying, oh no, oh, oh, oh.
Our thoughts, of course, go to all those family and friends of Luton Town fans who have sadly passed away in the last season. We move on now to the Ian Pearce Memorial Trophy, and this is awarded to the Luton Town player with the most Man of the Match awards at Kenilworth Road, as chosen by Mike Simmons of the Luton News. For those who aren't aware, Ian Pearce was a broadcaster and Luton Town fan and regularly commentated on the Hatters, but sadly passed away in 2011.
As a regular listener to BBC Three Counties Radio, Ian Pearce was a friend. He spent more than 20 years there and became an important part of life on the station and on the air.
Well, sadly, Ian died 2 weeks ago, and today was his funeral. Now, Janine Machin looks back at a man who turned his hand to many things, but was probably best known for commentating on his beloved Luton Town.
A man who lived life to the full. Today, Ian Pearce was laid to rest. And in St Luke's Church in Luton, it was standing room only as hundreds turned out to say farewell, remembering a man of many talents.
I think if you can give the audience to you at a radio station a little bit of yourself.
A radio presenter with a unique connection to his audience, one who won awards for his coverage of the Potters Bar rail crash and who brought the highs and lows of Luton Town to the air.
But at the moment, the atmosphere is absolutely tremendous, and everybody in white and orange, it's just great to be here. I'm sort of filling up. It's, you know, as a Lutonian as well as a Luton Town fan.
A true Lutonian through and through. Ian was not a fan of the term train spotter, but he did undoubtedly have a passion for the locomotive.
What you've got here is a 1950s, 1960s railway, still doing the job it was built for in the 1990s.
And latterly, he found a new passion when he was baptised on a trip to the Holy Land.
The challenge of the faith thing, which is a personal journey for me, yes, it has been so great, and I meet such brilliant people everywhere.
And today, many of those, young and old and of every faith, joined Ian's friends, family and colleagues to celebrate him, a man who wore his heart on his sleeve and shared his passion for life. Janine Machin, BBC Look East.
In honour of 10 years since his passing, we've decided to invite Simon Oxley from BBC Three Counties to share his memories and thoughts about Piercy, and also to talk about the season that we've just seen. Welcome, Simon Oxley.
Thank you, Simon. Good evening.
Good evening to you too. And just as we said, we're talking about Ian Pearce. You were obviously good friends with Ian. He was a colleague, a fellow Luton Town fan. And as we've said, 10 years since his sad passing, but he's always remembered at the club, isn't he?
He is, and at BBC Three Counties, we miss him dearly to this day, particularly when there's ever a story about trains, but just in general, because he was very much a part of Radio Bedfordshire and then BBC Three Counties Radio. And you say 10 years there. That's amazing that it's 10 years since his passing. I can remember it all too well, sadly, that he didn't arrive for a game at Kenilworth Road against Barrow. But his last day at work, and people may have seen the picture, I think it's featured in the programme a few times, that Gareth Owen took of Ian with Gary Brabbin, because Ian's last assignment was covering another Luton Town story, which was the departure of Richard Money and the appointment of Gary Brabbin as manager. So to the end, there was always something happening at Kenilworth Road, and he'd that weekend come back from the game up at Southport. He'd embraced the conference, as so many supporters did, I'm sure. New grounds, new teams, new faces, new beers. It was all part of the experience, which he relished every week.
You talk about Southport and beers, and I always remember his final line as we finished commentary there. And in the background, there was somebody was emptying a big barrel of old beer bottles from the bar, and he made a quip about, they were getting rid of all his empties. And that was his humour, wasn't it?
It was, and he commentated, with a smile on his face, and with a desire for the club to win, but it wasn't the end of the world if they didn't, and he would enjoy his day, whether it was home or away. And I often refer to him as a great supporter of Luton Town and a great supporter of the town of Luton, because Luton as a town was very dear to him. Some supporters may recall his rousing speech in the early days of John Gurney's brief time in charge, when we had the public meeting at Kenilworth Road. He would have relished, I'm sure, the power court meetings and debates and various situations. But no, he was a proud Lutonian, and that was reflected elsewhere in his work and other things he did involving the radio station. It was Luton Town Football Club, but there was also an awful lot more that that caught his attention and that he was passionate about.
You certainly mentioned there his speech back in 2003, wasn't it, with John Gurney? And I know the Trust are still indebted to his vocal work and everything he did to support what was a very difficult time for the club at that time under Gurney, and he's still remembered to this day as to how powerful his speech was.
I think so, and the BBC is sometimes it frowns upon people getting involved. Everything has to be politically correct, and you can't always state an opinion. But he wasn't having that. His beloved club was in danger, and he would have his say, and he did, and it was. I think he spoke for a lot of people, and it touched people, and really got everybody thinking, and was an important moment, along with others. There were many others who spoke passionately as well, but clearly that struck a chord with a lot of people.
Sadly, wasn't here to see Luton get promotion back into the Football League, and the successes that the club has had since, including this season with doing so well in the Championship. I mean, he would be so proud, wouldn't he, of how things have changed and turned around for Luton Town Football Club.
He would, and it was very touching for me personally and for everybody at Three Counties when the supporters kindly, donated the money to have his picture as one of those of the cutout figures, as it were, at the at the start of behind closed doors games at the end of last season. So you sort of like to feel that he and many others in some way have seen what's happened there this season. No, it has been an excellent campaign, of course, a hugely unusual one, and particularly, I guess, obviously for supporters who haven't seen it in the flesh, but for those of us who have, it again is a weird situation, to go week after week to empty grounds and to commentate in that situation has been very unusual. At Kenilworth Road, I think Mick and Nathan do their best to generate some atmosphere and some noise in the background, particularly as they're just in front of the press box. But away from home at some of the bigger stadiums, and of course for a time we were not able to travel to away games. That's that BBC political correctness I was referring to a moment ago. So we were commentating off screen, watching on as the huge majority of fans were as well, of course, watching on from the coverage around the country. But hopefully when the next season gets underway, we can be soon back to a full Kenilworth Road and another season in the Championship, which is an excellent achievement. I think people would have settled for one off the bottom three again, but I think probably the key to this season is that manager and players didn't settle for that and have really chased what they can and what they see as their potential, and have certainly fulfilled that.
The return of Nathan Jones just over a year ago now, and the progression that the club has gone both on the pitch and off it with the Newlands Park and Power Court developments really shows what a bright future the Hatters have ahead of them.
I hope so. Since I started at Radio Bedfordshire as it was then, you almost lose count of the number of potential new homes that we've talked about, and this obviously is the closest we've come. We're hopefully a matter of weeks away from spades in the ground, or certainly some serious activity, more serious activity going on down at Power Court. And I think to refer back to Ian and this award, he was a great traditionalist in so many ways, and he loved he loved Kenilworth Road because it was the home ground. But he too would have relished the opportunity to move and relish the opportunity of everything that it brings to Luton. As I say, he was a supporter of the town of Luton as well as Luton Town. And I think he would have been championing that cause as well.
Well, it's been great sharing the memories of Piercy with you, Simon, and also our thoughts on what's been a great season for Luton Town. The final role for you for tonight is to announce the winner of the Ian Pearce Memorial Trophy, the player who had the most Man of the Match awards at Kenilworth Road.
And the winner, and I've certainly enjoyed watching him play this season. He's been an excellent addition to the Hatters squad. The winner is Kiernan Dewsbury Hall.
Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, the winner of the Ian Pearce Memorial Trophy, which means that you were the man who picked up the most Man of the Match awards in the Luton News for the home games this season. I mean, first of all, congratulations on the award, but shining at Kenilworth Road is something you've done all season.
No, thank you first and foremost. Appreciate that. But yeah, I remember my first game there was Nottingham Forest at home, and yeah, it was a good game. We deserved to win, and I think just pretty much every game at Kenilworth Road, I felt at home and I felt like I can express myself, and I'm really happy that I've been able to bring together quite a lot of Man of the Matches, which is really pleasing, and it's nice to know that people are voting for me in that. And yeah, it's a great pleasure to win that award. As you say, I've had a couple of trophies, which is great, and now I've been putting them in my house. And yeah, it's I'm really pleased and honoured to get that.
Yeah, that Man of the Match award, there was a joke going around at one stage, wasn't there, that it was the Keenan Dewsbury Hall Man of the Match award. So you just must be delighted with the sort of form that you've shown.
Yeah, I'm really delighted. As I've said previously, I just really wanted to come here and stamp my authority and try and do as best as I could for myself and for the team. And I feel like we've done that, and we've had a great season and finished it strong, and it's been a really successful year. And then see what happens next season, try and push on from there.
As a parent or carer for a young person, it's vital that you can see exactly how your children are doing with their education, where things are going well and where help is needed. You need to have the right tools for helping the student. Lessons are essential, but with any kind of learning, what happens between the classes is just as important. This is where the real progress is made. Ours is a structured tuition service with a real method behind it. We make sure that at every stage we are building a strong foundation upon which new topics can be learned. We set work at an appropriate level every week, inform you exactly how things are going, while providing the means for your children to get help in a variety of ways. This makes My Own Tutor the complete learning support package. As they do their work, you're kept informed all the time. We send you weekly updates about the work they have done, as well as give you access to easy to understand yet detailed reports. There are 6 elements which make for effective teaching and learning support. Our study program provides weekly exercises for students to complete. Supported by tuition sessions either once a week or 5 days a week, this creates routine, good habits, and keeps learning on track. When mistakes are made, there is a tool to help students discover the solutions for themselves. We have video lessons in maths, English, and science covering every topic. Learning to help yourself is a key part of development, but if a student is still struggling, our virtual tuition centre tutors can help them one-to-one. Students can find practice exercises in most subjects up to GCSE, meaning that they can be ready for any upcoming test and maintain their mental muscles in between tuition sessions to turbocharge their progress. Every question answered is marked immediately. This is educationally very important, since it stops bad habits from forming. Instant feedback prevents the wrong method being cemented in the mind. Our detailed reporting system shows exactly where each student needs extra help, so you can see where they're making progress and where they require support. The tutors also use the reports. They proactively choose where to offer help. The reports show the tutor where there's a problem, so when they're in a session, the tutor knows exactly where to apply the medicine, and no time is wasted teaching your children things they already understand. We want to make learning enjoyable again, to motivate and make children want to do their work. So we've incorporated a large selection of games they can choose to play alongside an exercise. They cannot play a game by itself, it's always in conjunction with doing work, and to play new games, they have to earn credits by doing work. Every family should have the opportunity to improve their children's learning and get support where they need it. No matter their background, location or budget, students should have access to as wide as possible a range of tools to help them learn. That is the philosophy of My Own Tutor. We aspire to tuition without limits. No limits to access because of price. No limits to what your children can achieve. And no limits to the range of tuition services we will create and make available at truly affordable prices. Why? Because our families matter.
Our next award then is the Junior Supporters Player of the Season. This is chosen by members of the Trust that are under the age of 16. It's sponsored by Cathedral Independent Financial Planning. And I'm pleased to welcome to join us for a chat our chairman, David Wilkinson.
Hi there. Hi, Simon.
Great to see you, David. Thank you very much for giving up your time to join us on this virtual presentation night for the end of season awards from the Supporters Trust. And what a season it's been for Luton Town, both on and off the pitch.
It's been phenomenal, hasn't it? At the beginning of the season, we would never have expected, to be where we are in the top half. I don't think, but it's been fantastic. It's been horribly surreal though, because you know, sitting as we are lucky to be able to do and watch games live is just dreadful without fans. It is awful. It's just not the same game, and so that's the thing that's been most disappointing this year, is that we've played so well and no one's been able to watch us live, which is sad, very sad.
It is indeed, isn't it? Because there's been some really emotional matches this season and some great highlights to discuss. I mean, we could spend the entire evening going through and picking them. But for yourself personally, is there one that particularly stands out from the campaign?
Well, it's got to be Watford, hasn't it? It's got to be beating Watford. There's, you know, for the first time in whatever it was, 20 years, 30 years or something. No, that has to be the one. I mean, I'm not saying it was their best performance of the season, because we've had some great ones, haven't we? But we should have beaten them at their place as well. We played well enough, and if it hadn't been for, what was it? It was Colo's header off the post, wasn't it? Which they put in the other end, wasn't that right? I seem to remember. But no, we should have got a result there too. But no, that's the main one, I think, for me.
And I mean, Nathan Jones has talked a lot about the progression on the pitch as far as the way that the team are, you know, no relegation threatened this season with top half finish. Let's talk a bit about the progression off the pitch as well, from yourself, obviously the chairman and board member and the like, and how the club's developed over the last 12 months behind the scenes.
Well, it's been quite tough, as you know, because of COVID and you know, restrictions on people being together and stuff. But you know, we've gone from getting planning permission on the two developments to having to change those plans because of COVID and Brexit and all sorts of stuff, which have changed the market in the 4 years since we've started this. But progress has been made, as you know. During the year, we made up 4 new associate directors who are a strong part of the team, and we're moving forward, you know, really well off the pitch. And as you, I think, probably will see fairly soon, our results have been pretty good too. Financial results have been pretty good too, compared to most people, in a tough environment.
I mean, just how tough has it been? The consequences of the pandemic, obviously known by everybody, but behind the scenes at a football club, when you're reliant a lot on revenue from fans coming in every other week, so to speak, how difficult that's been for you all?
Well, we've been fortunate, haven't we? Because we've had season tickets, huge support from season ticket holders. And so most of our, if you like, revenue from supporters has come in from season tickets. I think we sold 7,000 last year. So there were only another, you know, 3,000 odd, if you like, unsold in a sense, which obviously is a lot more than a lot of people would be. So we, revenue-wise, because supporters have been supportive and not requested their money back in vast quantities, it hasn't been as bad as it could have been, and it's amazing that they have been so supportive. Really, otherwise, it's just generally difficult. I mean, football is in a bit of a mess anyway, isn't it? You know, with everything that's been going on and the huge gap between top and bottom in terms of wealth. You know, our playing budget is, I don't know what, second, third lowest in the league. And the gaps between us and teams like Watford is phenomenal. So on the field, it makes it difficult, but we've done really well and what's the word? We've outplayed our budget to an extent. Behind the scenes, we've got, Gary's put together a really efficient team, both on the development side and the sort of club side, who have just worked marvelously. So, you know, in some ways, I think what's happened over the last year has helped us become more efficient.
And certainly the recruitment has been key. As you said there, Gary's built a strong team behind the scenes. Nathan's built his coaching and management team as well. And The players that have come in, albeit with the budget restraints, have really performed, haven't they? We've had some excellent acquisitions to the squad.
Oh, superb. I mean, the last, Naismith, Clark, Elijah, and who's the fourth one? And KDH, of course, have been incredible. And if we continue that sort of recruitment, we should go far. And
that's the summer ahead now, isn't it? We've got a full pre-season and summer break as opposed to the shortened version last campaign. And you know, if Nathan can work the wonders with the team that he has in the past 12 months on a short break, what can be achieved in a difficult circumstances this summer?
No, that's right. He was saying the other day that, if you give all those new guys, the Naismiths and Clarks and people who didn't get a pre-season with us last year, it's a huge advantage, because his pre-seasons, I think, are really quite important to the way the team moves forward, the squad moves forward. And yeah, I'm excited by that.
Obviously, recruitment of players from other clubs is key, but so is developing our youngsters and bringing them through. And, we've got a thriving academy. Obviously, a bit of a setback with planning not granted for the Dome that really would have helped the academy status.
Yes, although we still think we'll get it. It's just a matter of time, I think. It's disappointing that we're not in EPP 2, level 2 next year, because we've got a tremendous under 18 squad coming through for next season. We saw, I watched them quite often, and we went to see them play at MK, and they were playing the, if you like, next year's academy team, which are currently the under 17s, really, some under 16s. And I think the feeling is they're the same sort of level as the team that got into the the Youth Cup quarterfinals. What was it, 6 years ago? So they're that good. It's a shame that we can't have had them in the competition, but they'll still be there the following year, because they're a young group and a very good one.
And the support for the academy is so vital, isn't it, to support the football club in the long term as well?
Of course. I mean, it's what we are. We will always be, as long as we're this kind of club, we'll always be a selling club. So the academy is vital to our future and development, because you sort of grow, rather like JJ. I mean, JJ's sale has helped us enormously in developing the squad and building the squad up, and that's something that will have to keep happening over time. Hopefully, from a higher level, you get more money. So
indeed.
so fingers crossed.
I mean, obviously, the youngsters coming through is key. The development, the recruitment, everything sounds positive during what have been difficult times, though, for the football club and for everybody in the last 12 months. And there's a positive outlook to the future and for the next campaign starting in August.
Absolutely, we're excited. I mean, what is it? 6 years now. We've ended higher, I think, every year in the last 6. I can't remember since we came in. We've only, apart from being stuck in the conference for 5 years, there's always been something to play for, hasn't there? There's always been something to be optimistic about. And at this level, there aren't many more things to be optimistic about, are there? Until we get to the Champions League, I suppose. But we've come up more levels than we've got to go, in a sense, haven't we? Although they get more difficult now. But no, it's exciting. Well, it's always exciting, isn't it, following Luton? But as long as we are, following the philosophy we've got, as long as we've got the quality of the coaching staff and management that we've got, I think there's only one way we can go.
And that's certainly up.
It is, yes.
And just finally, then, looking ahead to next season, I mean, as it stands, we're hoping that from day one it will be full houses back at Kenilworth Road. And just your thoughts and feelings on welcoming everybody back and how much of a difference that will make to match day atmosphere for us all, but also the team's progression on the pitch as well.
Well, football's not football without fans. It's like watching a training game when we're lucky enough to be able to watch them live. But it's like watching a training game. It's just dead without fans. And I think in some, not everybody agrees, but I think in some cases it's helped us. I think away from home, in big stadiums, we might have been better off. You know, when we were sitting at Leeds at the end of last season, you know, and there were 5 of us in the main stand at Ellen Road. It's not the same game, you know. You're sitting looking at the backs of the heads of 15,000 plastic cutouts. That's not football. And we got a draw there, and I suspect we probably wouldn't have managed to find it. Not saying it was easy, but you know what I mean. I think the results perhaps have been a bit better because you haven't had that. But at home, I think they've probably been not so good, because there are games this season, I think, where with crowds, they would have driven us over the line. Where we've drawn games, we might have won them, and where we've lost them, we might have drawn. Because there's no doubt it makes a huge difference. And, you know, the 3 of us upstairs can't really make enough noise to to encourage them. I think it will make a huge difference. Well, it bring it back to being football again. It's just awful without it. So yeah, it's exciting, and I hope no one messes it up. I hope that we get it, you know, and we move forward.
Well, we certainly look forward to the start of the campaign, but our final role now is to announce the winner of the Junior Supporters Player of the Season. As I said, it's sponsored by Cathedral Independent Financial Planning, and the winner of the award is
Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, and very, very well deserved it is. What a player. What a player.
Kiernan Dewsbury Hall again, Junior Supporters Player of the Season. Obviously, you're a role model to all football fans, but in particular the youngsters. So how important is it that you've obviously impressed those this season?
Yeah, it's super important. Every young footballer growing up has their idols and has the players that they love watching play. I know I did. And even if there was one young player this season that's watched Luton and been happy watching me and thought I was a good player and maybe want to start playing football because of that, I'm more than happy. Obviously, it's all about just the next generation wanting to play, and I hope that people have watched and been inspired and made them want to go out and play football, because that's the main thing, and that's all I try and do when I get on the pitch. So to get that award is really, really great. I'm really happy with that one.
Our next award is the Young Luton Town Player of the Season. This is chosen by the management team. It's sponsored by Abacus Stationery and Office Supplies. And I'm pleased to welcome from the Academy Professional Development Phase Assistant Coach and former Luton Town player, it's Paul Benson. Welcome, Paul.
Thank you, Pitsy. Good to be here.
Thanks for joining us for this Luton Town Supporters Trust end of season awards night. Now, we'll come on to the actual player and the award and the reason that he's been chosen by yourselves in the management team. But first of all, just talk to us about the importance of the Academy and how much its value is to the club for bringing through the next generation of Luton Town players.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, in terms of the football club, it's always been historically an important part of the club, going right back to the players that have come through in the past, and right up to the present day, really, with the most recent success story from the Academy being James Justin and how well you know, the club have dealt with that and brought him through, and how well he's doing prior to his injury this season, how well he was doing at Leicester in the Premier League. So it's always, you know, it's always had a place within the club, the Academy, and it's thriving, you know, just as much as the first team are now. Really, we've gone from back in the conference days where there was a skeleton staff. We're now looking like we're going matching where the first team are going now. We're building. It's a slow build, but we're getting there, and we're starting to produce players that hopefully can grace the first team in the current level they're playing at, which is always a tough ask, because you know how well the first team have done in recent seasons. We've always tried to play catch up, and I think we're starting to show signs now where we can producing players who are capable of playing at this current level, which the first team are at.
Obviously, they're few and far between, the players coming through to make it to top flight football. The likes of James Justin you mentioned there. It's key that we're developing everybody to try and get somebody up to that level once again, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, and it doesn't get any easier. You know, when I speak about how the club have accelerated their development in the last few seasons, that the Academy will always try and play catch up to that. And every year that the demands get higher, and the ability levels need to match that. So it's a constant evolving thing that we're dealing with in the Academy, and trying to get players ready for that level that the first team are at. And you know, the players are adapting well. You know, there's always added demands that are placed on them every year, and that's how it should be. You know, every year you should aim to be better than the year before, and I think that's the way we're going. And the players are responding to that, and we're starting to see some signs where, you know, perhaps in the next 2-3 years we can start to see some players really starting to come through and make their mark in the first team environment.
Of course, as you mentioned there, the progression of the first team going from League Two to the Championship in a matter of seasons has meant suddenly the quality of players that you're bringing into the Academy and that you're signing to progress their careers, that has to increase at the same time, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, and it's the challenge which the players need to they need to thrive on. That they need to realise that we're no longer producing players for the National League or League Two or even League One. We're trying to produce Championship players now, and the demands and the quality required for the Championship is, you know, without stating the obvious, a lot higher than what you're looking at in Leagues Two and the National League. So I think everyone realises that, the staff in the Academy realise that, and we try and pass that on to the players and get them ready for what's required at that level. And we're not talking about just technical ability on the pitch. We're talking about the psychological side of it off the pitch as well, because these players that play in the Championship, they're all wonderful footballers, but what they do have in abundance more perhaps than your National League or your League Two players is their psychological side, how strong they are, you know, how committed they stay, and the consistency levels that they bring to their game. So we're not only now producing wonderful technical players, but we have to produce players who can cope with the physical and the psychological demands of Championship football.
And for yourself personally, how much are you enjoying being back at the club and working with the academy and the younger players?
Yeah, fantastic. It's been this is the end of my 4th year now back at the academy, working with various age groups. I started with the under-13s, and now with the under-18s group, and helping with Forbesy with the development group as well. So it's been really good to be back, and I've had loads of experience working with different age groups and getting different experiences under my belt in terms of the coaching and whatnot. So yeah, it's been excellent. And next year's first year scholars will be my first group of under-13s, which I had when I first come back. So really looking forward to working with that group and seeing how far they developed. And and hopefully, like I said at the start, we can start getting some players across for Nathan to have to decide whether he brings them into his squad or not. And that's the goal, really, just to keep producing players for Nathan, and hopefully 1 or 2 might start appearing in matchday squads.
The academy's really progressed. You talked about the non-league days. Obviously, when you were playing for the club, you could see what the setup was behind the scenes to where we are now. And there's been a lot of support and a lot of help from the fans over the years, particularly thinking of the solid group that were formed because the funding was cut when we were non-league, and how important that's been to sort of build the foundations and then continue supporting the academy going forwards.
Yeah, it's been immeasurable, really, Pitsy, to be honest. I think in terms of when I first came to the club as a player, you're very aware of Solid and the work they've done for the club in keeping the academy alive, really. And I think it's important for people to realise that perhaps without that investment that Solid have given the club, I think over £100,000 since they were set up. I don't think it's too much to say that without that, perhaps there wouldn't have been a James Justin coming through at Luton Town. He probably would have come through, but it would have been at another club, because I don't think Luton maybe would be able to have kept him and other players like him. So just for that, really, and you see with clubs that have been relegated, in the likes of Barnet and Dagenham and Redbridge, who have had to disband their academies, and Southend now having been relegated, the countdown's on for them to keep their academy alive. The work that Solid have done to help keep Luton's academy alive has been fantastic, and they should be held in high regard within the club and its community, really, because I think the work they've done has been, like I said, immeasurable.
And to continue that, and for the academy to continue to progress, we obviously need the support from the fans, but we also need the support from other areas, and trying to get this dome agreed so that they can progress to that next level on the requirements for the academy.
Yeah, it's slightly disappointing news that came out previously with regards to the dome. It's not fundamental that the club goes Category 2, because I think the way it's being run at the moment, it's almost being run on a Cat 2 model for a Cat 3, as we currently are Category 3, but we're running it to a Cat 2 level. So I don't think that will change, but I do think it's important that, and we spoke about the academy keeping up with the first team. It is important that at some stage the club, goes into a Category 2 academy to give ourselves the best opportunity going forward. So, I mean, in terms of the staff who are within the club at the moment, we'll keep running the academy as it is, and we'll keep trying to produce the best possible players we can for the first team. But I do believe there will come a point where we do need to try and get into that Category 2 status to just push everything forward that little bit more, which could be the difference between producing a player for the first team or perhaps not producing a player for the first team. So while it is important, we try and get into that Category 2 status. We as staff will keep giving it our best and keep trying to produce the best possible players we can, regardless of what category we're in.
Well, we've obviously got you here to discuss the Young Luton Town Player of the Season. As we said, it was chosen by the management team, sponsored by Abacus Stationery and Office Supplies. Without naming him at this moment, just tell us a bit about the player that has been chosen and the reason that he's the standout player for this award. Yeah,
so this young lad, he come into the academy as an under 15. So he's been in for a relatively short time, but the progress he's made in that short time has been nothing short of remarkable, really. Come in and he had lots of stuff he needed to work on, quite raw in his technical abilities and other parts of his game. But the way he's gone about his business this year has been fantastic. He's a wonderful kid. He listens, he wants to learn, he wants to improve, and he has improved. For me, he's arguably been our most consistent player this year. He's shown the biggest sign of development from the group this year in terms of his work that he does when he has the ball, in terms of his technical ability, but also how he's developed in the other side of his game. So when he doesn't have the ball, and how he reads danger, how he reacts to danger. So for me, yeah, it's a well-deserved award for him, and just shows that he's got his rewards for the hard work he's put in through this year.
So then, Paul, it is time to announce the Young Luton Town Player of the Season for the 2020-2021 campaign is
Aidan Francis.
To start collecting free donations for your good cause, just go to easyfundraising.org.uk and join as a supporter or good cause. Then remember to go to the Easy Fundraising website when you want to buy anything online. Once you're logged in, you can either click Browse Retailers to find a site that sells what you're looking for, or if you know the site you want to shop at, just type the name into the search bar. To start, you'll see a page like this that tells you all about them. Then, just click the Go Shopping button and you'll go straight to the retailer's website where you can shop as normal. The prices are all exactly the same. Clicking Go Shopping tells the retailer you're an easy fundraiser. That means when you buy something, they'll make a donation to the charity or good cause you support. Easy. So, remember to raise money when you're shopping every day the easy fundraising way.
And our next award is the Internet Player of the Season. It's sponsored by the Bartham Group. And I'm pleased to welcome along CEO Gary Sweet to join us this evening. Thank you very much for your time, Gary.
Yes, Simon. Hi all.
So what a season it's been. Obviously, COVID interrupted. Your thoughts, first of all, on the pitch and a top half finish to end the campaign. You must be delighted with the form the team have shown.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think every Luton fan is delighted, aren't they? I think the board's happy. Nathan's happy, and staff are happy. So yeah, look, it's been a great campaign. Above probably our expectations. It's been a really difficult year to plan for obvious reasons, and a really difficult year to kind of predict what a good target would be for us on the pitch. Off the pitch is much easier because it's financially driven, but on the pitch is a really hard shout, because who's known really what the market has been like in the transfer windows in the last two like January and the last summer. with so much turmoil with players. When, you know, if you think going back to this time last year, we were asking players to effectively reduce their salaries, to take loans, to effectively defer their bonuses and all this kind of thing to help the cash flow of well, every club was doing the same, you know, en masse. So how the kind of impact that had on the transfer market was quite significant. Values on contracts, future contracts, there's been an impact there. You know, knowing when you're committing to sort of 2, 3, 4 year contracts on players, you know, you really need to know what's happening with the virus going forward, don't you? So actually that's been such a difficult thing to plan. So we have to be, as one of the least wealthy or least let's say exuberant clubs in the Championship, got to be really delighted with where we finished in top half.
And off the pitch, I mean, there must have been a lot of worst case scenarios going through your mind when the season started under COVID. How do you feel the club have come out of it now we're on the other side? Is it far exceeded your expectations? What sort of level would you ascertain?
No, it's a tough one, really. I mean, you have to go into an experience, well, an event you've never experienced with no expectations. I mean, you can't plan for it. You know, you just have to live day by day to some extent. So look, how have we come out of it? I think due to the way we are here, I mean, all of the staff, every single person that works for us at this club, right, you know, from top to bottom throughout every department, you know, because we've been really nimble, really flexible, thinking on our feet every single day about how we react to situations. And you know, I gave everybody an opportunity to either stay at home or come in during the whole you know, the whole period of the pandemic, and by and large, you know, everybody's come in because they want to, you know, they want to be a part of the regeneration of the football club, and we saw it as a real opportunity where we knew that other clubs were effectively standing staff down, you know, resting people, etc. You know, we had a lot of people in. We were working hard to come out of this a little bit more lively than most, and I think so. Where I look at it at the moment is, yeah, I think we're in a really good position in comparison to other clubs.
And of course, there's been a lot happening off the pitch as well. You've been a busy man with other developments and things. I'm sure the fans will want to know if there's any latest update on the two big projects, Newlands Park and Power Court.
Yeah, I mean, we're really close now. I mean, we haven't got a date for any kind of committee hearing on the applications that we've submitted, those two refreshed applications. They'll be a few weeks away, but we're not far. We are going to want some support, I think, again, a little bit like last time. We are going to want some support, but we'll guide you on that and give you a shout when we need it.
And you talk about support. I mean, that must be something that you're immensely proud of, the thousands of Luton fans around the world that continue to support both with these projects, with the financial aspects of the running of the club and everything behind. I mean, just a word for all the fans that are watching this now.
We can't thank you enough. I mean, the level of support we hear. You know, people aren't in the stadium, but we absolutely hear it, and it's not just about us necessarily, you know, shaking that tin and us receiving you know, season ticket money in, and you know, and I follow memberships increase, you know, and that kind of thing, and people are still buying the merchandise and everything else, and it all helps. I mean, look, you know, coronavirus has had a big impact on us financially, you know, it has, you know, but it's been really minimised in comparison to other clubs because of the dedication of our support base. So I just want to thank everybody for that. And to give you an idea on that, we've now, just in terms of season tickets, as we talk today, we've surpassed half of the season ticket sales we have had for the first season in the Championship, and of which, you know, we've got a lot of money donated back towards that transfer club. And I think within about 3 or 4 days, we might be in a position where we can announce a new player.
Oh, that's fantastic news, isn't it? Because I mean, it is the support from the fans that have helped keep the club going, and that's allowed some of the recruitment that's happened in the past season during such difficult times. And what fabulous recruitment we've seen with the players coming in.
Yeah, and we've got a lot of. It's where we've invested money. You know, if there was a bold call, it was the recognition that actually, you know, being able to identify the talent before other clubs and really identify them at a time where we can afford them, not necessarily wait until the player develops so others can afford them and we can't. I think that's been the key over the last year, and it will continue to be the key. And I think we'll get better at it. Well, we are getting better at it, and I think we wouldn't have gone out and let's say created something like the transfer club unless we were quite confident that our recruitment process and the quality of players that we were able to attract at the right budget. We wouldn't have done that unless we were confident. So that's not to, there's no guarantees in that, of course, you know, and we're always going to still recruit players that might not quite succeed here. It's a part of the course, but I think if we get 3 out of 4 right, then you know, then we're doing a terrific job, and we're certainly hitting those numbers.
Of course, we're going back to a full gap between seasons this year, having a shortened one last summer. It doesn't mean that the work dries up and goes quiet, though, does it for you? There's plenty going on behind the scenes, even though there's no live matches to worry about.
It's a busy time of year. Yeah, really busy time of year for us. I mean, particularly busy for us too, because you know, there's a lot of changes, a lot more changes happening around the stadium this time around, because when we get supporters back, clearly there's going to be a lot of things that are slightly different about how our supporters come back, mainly because of the coronavirus situation. You know, couple of examples there. Pretty much everything will need to be cashless. We'll have a new ticket entry system, with some smart readers on the turnstiles, that kind of thing. But we're also looking to try and invest in the pitch to upgrade that and this kind of thing. So I think there's an awful lot of work going on over the next 3-4 months, which where everybody thinks we're lying on a beach. That's certainly, you can't do that anyway now, can you? I wish you could, but yeah, you can't even do that for a week.
I mean, a very busy summer ahead, but what a relief it will be on that day when we can open the doors at Kenilworth Road and allow the 10,000 fans back in again once more.
Yeah, and you know, especially with limited time at Kenilworth Road, you know, it makes it every day even more valuable. You know, if you start talking about the number of match days between now and the end, you know, you might have around 75 or something. You know, well, obviously with cups a little bit more, but it's every single day there is valuable now, and I'm sure when supporters come back, which we are really confident is going to be on the 7th of August, if not more for a friend before for a friendly. But if we get supporters back on that day, I'm sure there's going to be more than a single tear shed. I think everyone is going to feel quite emotional about it here. We've really, really, really missed you. You know, I mean, we can't. Football's not. What's been, if I can just say a little word on what's been going on recently with regards to some Premier League clubs who've got their head up their own orifices. I think, you know, we here at Luton, we really appreciate all supporters, and that's whether they buy something in the shop, just watch on iFollow, but particularly those who come here and follow us away, because without that physical connection with supporters, football's nothing.
Very well said, and I know the supporters appreciate everything that yourself and all the board and everybody behind the scenes are doing for the football club in the past and now going forwards into the future, ready for next season. So the final thing then for the award, it is the Internet Player of the Season. As we've said, it's sponsored by the Bartham Group, and the winner with the most votes from around the world this year is...
I'm delighted to tell you it's Kiernan Dewsbury Hall. Well done, lad.
Kiernan Tottenham Dewsbury Hall, a third award this season, this time the Internet Player of the Season. So fans worldwide have voted for you as their Player of the Season, which means it just shows the impact that you've had.
Yeah, I'm really happy with this award. I feel like it's, especially in this sort of season, it's quite a big one because every fan, apart from 2 games, has only been able to watch through the internet. And with the weird season that it's been, that's the way it's been. So I feel like I'm really honoured to get this award because if fans hadn't watched any of it, they wouldn't have known me as a player because they've not really seen me in real life. So that's how I've been able to show people what about this season. And I'm just thankful to everyone tuning in every week in, week out, to be able to watch us play. And without you lot, then I wouldn't be able to show everyone what I can do, and we wouldn't have that support. So it's a great credit to the fan base at Luton, who I think have been tremendous. So I'm really happy and proud to get this award.
Seeking re-election are Tony Murray, Mark Chapman, Colin Adamson, June Adamson, Les Miller and Kevin Harper. And seeking election for the first time are Derek Shepherd and Mick Follett.
The trust taking it on, you know, and the club has plans as well as the trust to now try and give it a bit of a boost.
So I'm not for 1 second saying there's going to be permanent footballers at all, but it's the possibility that provides them.
So our next award is the Players Player of the Year, sponsored by Abacus Stationery and Office Supplies. And I'm pleased to say a warm welcome to club skipper Sonny Bradley. Welcome along and thank you for joining us.
Are you all right?
Great to have you involved. What a season it's been. You must be really proud to be captain of Luton Town Football Club in the Championship once again, and the performances that we've seen.
Yeah, of course. I'm immensely proud to captain the team, not only just this season, but last season as well, through the difficult patch that we had, and from when I took over in the first season in League One. So yeah, I'm immensely proud, and it's been a difficult season for obviously many reasons, which I'm sure every EFL club has gone through, as we know, with the pandemic. But I'm extremely proud of the way how our club has dealt with it, and we've come out, hopefully we're towards the end now, and I think we've come out the other side of it in reasonably good condition, and our league position right now reflects really how well we've done, and you can clearly see the anybody who watches us regularly will see the massive improvement from last season. So yeah, it's a great time to be at this football club, not only to play for the club but to captain the club as well.
Obviously, the fans have been missing the matches. They've not been at grounds, and that being a real disappointment. How much of the players and yourself miss the fans being there and supporting you through this difficult year?
Yeah, I think on a couple of occasions now, and I think every time a player does press or speaks to anybody, we let you know that we are missing you immensely. You know, all the fans. I think we're kind of used to it now. You know, it feels like it's been so long without fans. It's kind of hard to remember what it's like. So I think as players, we're really looking forward to the fans coming back and just getting back to normal. You know, because I've heard it said a lot, and it's true. You know, without the fans, you know, it's not the same game. But no, hopefully now, you know, let's get the summer out of the way, and I think if it goes to plan, which it is doing so far, then at the start of next season we'll hopefully be at full capacity, and the fans will be back in at Kenilworth Road, and they can rewatch us at Championship level. You know, hopefully this time playing at a better level, at a better standard, and hoping that we can improve our league position again.
I mean, that would be quite some feeling, won't it, walking out down the tunnel at Kenilworth Road to a full house, 10,000 capacity, hopefully at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, look, that would be. I think it'd be a bit of a strange one, but like I said, it's something the players are looking forward to, and I'm sure it's not just at our club. I think there's been a lot of frustration at every club, you know, in the EFL. So as soon as the fans come back, I think, like I said, it'll be a little bit strange, but it's certainly a day that we're all looking forward to.
Looking back at the 2021 campaign, then you know, a great performance in the Championship, vast progression and improvement on the previous season, and showed that really got the spirit in the side to come from behind. I'm thinking of like the game at home to Sheffield Wednesday, away at Wycombe, and away at Bristol City towards the end of the season. I mean, the team spirit and the motivation to continue to do well is certainly showing through.
Yeah, you know, the attitude of all the boys this season has been outstanding. You know, no disrespect to the squad that we had last year, but I think we have, you know, improved our squad this year. And I think, you know, certain things that happened last season, when, like you say, we're going 1-0, 2-0 down, I think we'd have struggled to come back last season. Whereas, you know, this season, with the drive and the attitude that we have and the real improvement throughout the squad, I think we've done better to come from behind. So look, we've had, you know, I don't want to start naming names because I could name everybody in the squad this season, and you know, to have a really good campaign at any level, it requires the full squad. It's not just 11, 12, even 15 players. You know, for me personally, it's taken the full squad, and you know, I understand that there'll be boys slightly frustrated that they haven't played as much, but I can assure you that to a man, everybody is given 100%, and the attitude and the drive has been there. You know, some of the boys that haven't been playing, you know, they've still given everything in training. They've still been themselves around the ground, and we've needed that. And for me, that plays a big part in us, you know, continuing to improve.
I mean, that's key, isn't it? It's a team game, it's a squad game, and you know, the fact that players not being regularly involved are pushing on and still trying to perform. It puts the onus on the players in the team to keep up those standards all the time, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course, and that's the only way. For me, that's the only way we're going to improve. And since I've been at this football, I've been here 3 years now. Every year, I've felt like I am fighting for my place, and I think that's come out in my performances, and that's one thing that we do have. You know, the manager talks about quite a lot about protecting our environment, and we've got really good characters here. And since I've been here, I've been lucky in the fact that there's been really nobody that's come in and disturbed our group. You know, we've got a really good core group, and we've done really well this season. And what it is when players aren't playing, they need to stay fit, because you know we've had it this season where we've had injuries, where we've had to rotate the team from Saturday to Tuesday to Saturday to Tuesday. And what's happened is the players who have been called upon, who haven't been in the team, have been asked to step up. Them players have really stepped up, they've stayed fit, and they've played their part. And like going back to what I said previously, it takes a full squad, a full group to have a good attitude and to go on and have a really good campaign, especially at this level, because you know, if you haven't played for a couple of weeks and you come back in and you're not quite at it, you will get caught out. So yeah, for me that's testament to all the players.
And despite there being no fans at the grounds for all bar 2 of the games, we've certainly seen the team spirit and the togetherness and the celebrations and the emotion as how much winning a game or scoring a goal means to everybody. And I think no more so than when Harry Cornick scored at Ashton Gate, and you know, everybody swamped him immediately, and they knew what it meant to Harry and what it obviously meant to you all as well.
Yeah, look, if I'm totally honest on personal, I do recognise that now. I do. On a personal level, I was just thinking, I wasn't thinking too much about Harry at the time. I was just thinking that we'd gone 3-2 up and we was 2-0 down, and I wasn't too bothered who got the goal. You know, when I look back on it and I reflect on it, of course, I'm delighted for Harry. He's been a solid member of this squad for the past, I think, 4 years now that he's been here, maybe longer. And yeah, this season with goals, you know, in his performances, I don't think he struggled at all. I think Harry's been brilliant for all of the season. He's obviously just, as a forward player, he's just lacked that goal, I think, just to get him going again. But yeah, I'm delighted that he's got it now.
And the Gaffer always talks about records being broken. They're there to be broken. You know, we've had a cracking victory away at Bristol City after 2-0 down at half time. We've had other grounds that have been notorious in the past. I'm thinking of Preston and Nottingham Forest. You've gone there and won. And then, of course, there was the big one at Kenilworth Road, beating the local rivals for the first time in many years. I mean, just sum up the emotions and the feelings on those victories and the overall experience of the season.
Yeah, I think obviously going to them grounds, like you say, going to Nottingham Forest, going to Preston, I think it just shows probably how far the club's come in a short space of time, and this group especially don't recognise boundaries. We don't know when to stop. I think that's a good thing to say. We want to keep going. We want to drive on and improve, every season, and to go to these big grounds and get results, show that we've really matured.
Well, we thank you for your time with us on this end of season presentation night, Sonny. Your final role is to let us know the Players' Player of the Year. It's sponsored by Abacus Stationery and Office Supplies, and the players have voted for?
Yeah, the players have voted. It was quite tight, actually. I thought it was going to be a bit more straightforward than what it was. But the Players' Player of the Year for this season is Kiernan Dewsbury Hall.
A fourth award this season for Kiernan Dewsbury Hall. Kiernan, this time your peers have voted you as their player of the season. Just how much does that mean to you, the people that you train alongside day in, day out, and play alongside every Saturday and pretty much every Tuesday this season, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm delighted to win this award. I think most players will say getting players play is the one that's probably the closest to your heart, because it's the people you're with every day for 8-9 months, and especially me coming in as a young player to a brand new dressing room, trying to stamp my authority and trying to get the respect of everybody. This means the world, because it shows me that I've made an impact and I've impressed all my players, and we've got some great professionals here that have played really good levels in their career. They've got promotions on the record, and now they're established championship players. So I'm really, really honoured, and I'm really thankful for my teammates, the support they've shown me through the season, the way they allow me to go and express myself and give me the confidence on the pitch, because it's so important as a player to know that your teammates trust in your ability, respect you as a player and as a person. And yeah, I'm delighted. I couldn't thank everyone enough for what they've done for me this season, because it's allowed me to try and do as well as I can, and I'm happy that I've been able to repay them in some sort of way. So yeah, just a big thank you to everyone here.
These are frightening times, especially if you're a child with cancer. I'm Anna, and as a Click Sergeant social worker, I'm there for families in their darkest hour. At Click Sergeant, we help with everything from money worries to mental health, and we've never been needed more. Can you give £3 a month to help brave children and families through the scariest days of their lives?
The day that his hair started falling out was a really hard day, because the minute that it starts coming out, you can see your child has cancer.
A child's cancer diagnosis is always traumatic, especially now. And for their families, the double crisis of coronavirus and cancer will bring terrible anxiety, isolation, and money problems. Cancer wants to destroy young lives, but by giving £3 a month to Click Sergeant, you can stop it tearing families apart. Please call 0800 1445 753. Text Child1 to 70960 or search Click Sergeant to give today.
I felt like my life ended in that moment. I felt like I was living in a nightmare.
Please, don't let families face cancer alone. Call 0800 1445 753. Text Child1 to 70960 or search Click Sergeant today. Thank you.
So we move on now then to the final and most important award to be presented, the Luton Town Supporters Trust Player of the Season. It's sponsored by the Bartham Group, and I'm pleased to say that joining us for this presentation, Luton Town manager Nathan Jones. Welcome, Nathan, and thank you for joining us.
No, thank you for the invite, and as I said, I'd like to thank everyone for their work this season. In terms of, I know they couldn't be here to watch us, and but what they have done, what the fans, we knew we got great fans anyway, but what the fans have done has meant that we were able to move forward. Without that support, look, we wouldn't be in such a state as we are, and I said a big thank you from everyone here at Luton.
Thanks, Nathan. And we're obviously reviewing individuals for the awards that have been presented so far, but it is a team game, it's a squad game, players, management and everybody involved. So overall, from yourself, from the fans' perspective, a great season. How's your thoughts for the way the campaign's been?
Yeah, look, we've been very happy, and we're not ecstatic, and we're not playing anything down or anything, but we've been very happy. Where we were last year, we knew that this season we would have to be better, but we believed we were going to be, because another year at the championship and a bit more experience, and this was always going to then be the year where we could establish ourselves. We started very well, good pre-season. Obviously a very quick pre-season, you know, after the end of season and so on, but we started very well with 3 wins out of 4, which was a real good start and give us a good platform to go on. And then the belief grew from there. We knew we had to recruit better, and we did. You know, we had some wonderful additions to the team, notably Keenan Dewsbury Hall and Jordan Clark were 2 in the summer that we were really excited about. And then did similarly good business in January, which is very difficult to do. So we're very happy, because we've established ourselves as a championship side. We've really taken on teams, gone after them, and shown that we're not just here to make up the numbers. We're not just here and loving every minute and, you know, taking photos of stadiums. We're here because we want to compete and we want to do something. And I think we've proved that this year by establishing ourselves as a championship side and as a good championship side as well.
And you've done that during a very strange year. Obviously, the last 9 games last season behind closed doors, all but 2 this season have been. You've talked about the fan support. Sadly, it has had to be from afar this season. Yeah,
then that is a sad, and I think it hits us harder than most, because I think there's not a ground in the championship like the Kenny. The only similar one would have been the old Brentford, you know, Griffin Park. But there's not a ground like the Kenny that misses fans, because when the fans are in there, you know, the decibels go up. You know, even though there's 10,200 in there, you could swear it was 30 or 40, and that's what we think we've missed. But as we said, they played a massive part, a massive contribution, and without their help, we wouldn't be in the position that we're in, and that's a credit and a testament. But if I'm honest, that doesn't surprise me, because I know the fans, they've been through some turmoil, you know, right throughout the years, and this, I hope, rewards their faith and rewards what they've had to contribute to us.
Hopefully all fans back in the stadiums for the 21-22 campaign. How much will it mean to you personally to be walking out of the tunnel at Kenilworth Road to a full house?
Well, I hope it'll be a wonderful atmosphere, but I'm really looking forward to it. There was a massive difference when we had 1,000 and 2,000 here for the Norwich and Preston games, and I'm really looking forward to taking our team out in front of those, because I know that the team responds when we have fans there. The team, it's been, apart from my first 4 months, it's been a fortress, and a fearful place for people to come to, in all divisions, in all the divisions, and it still remains that. And I'm really looking forward to a time when we, a good summer, we rest, we recuperate, we recruit well, and hopefully we come back in front of our fans and full house with a team that's really ready to have a right go.
You've mentioned the summer there, of course, very different to last year. You've already hinted that, it was much shorter, less preparation time between seasons. You're back to a full pre-season this summer. What difference will that make to you and to the club?
I think it'll make a hell of a difference to my marriage, that's for a start. But it means that we can, you can rest, you can plan sanely. It's not just going from one. Ironically, it probably did us good last year because we had real momentum, in terms of that July and August time and September. We picked up a lot of wins, and we probably were as good a form team as anyone in the country in terms of that. So it kind of helped us then. But we are looking forward now to resting, to getting up, to then doing good recruitment, and then having that 6-week planned pre-season again, where all the work that for the season is laid down and environments are created and set, and then coming back and having our 3rd season in the Championship.
As you've mentioned, their recruitment obviously key to keep the strength within the squad. The support from the board has been exceptional, hasn't it, through these difficult times? And I suppose also you're looking at younger players as well, and the importance of the academy going forward to bring on the future and the youth in Luton as well.
Well, look, that's always been paramount in our thinking in terms of the academy, because we've realised that Luton has had a real good tradition. You look right throughout, the time that going back to when I played, the people like Matthew Upson, Chris Wilmot, people like that were coming through that went on and have had fantastic careers, right through to the James Justins and people like that. And we've always known the importance. And then obviously I'm a big believer in youth and youth development and recruiting that way, and really putting your stamp on certain young individuals so that they can be with you for a number of years, but they also realise the importance of that, of being a Luton or a Lutonian. And that's really key. And we want to get back to that, because the trouble with the academy is that the first team has moved forward so quickly and up the levels that to keep pace with that is very difficult. The pressures are up, standards go up, the competition goes up, and then you have to then find youngsters that suddenly signed when the team was League Two, but then they now have to not be making their way into a League Two team. They have to be making it into an established Championship side, which puts a lot of pressure on the academy. But we are determined to keep improving. The next thing is getting Cat 2 status. Once we do that, it enables us to have a bit greater platform, a better games program, to be able to recruit better, and to then develop players quicker within the environment. And that's what we want. But there's a big emphasis on the academy here, always has been, and all we've done is continue that and re-emphasize the importance. So look, the future's bright. We have a number in there that now a group, and a 16s and 18s that are competitive, a 23 group that's been together. So we are moving forward, and that's a credit to the boards, credit to Gary Sweet and people that continually drive that on, because it's a big thing for a club.
You've talked about moving forwards and the future being bright. We've discussed a lot of on the field, but off the field as well, the plans this season, the revised plans for Newlands Park and Power Court, even more excitement for the Hatters during the 2021 campaign.
Yeah, look, and that's good. And that's been, and Gary and the board and the 2020 consortium, coupled with the people of outside who they brought in outside to help them do that. That's such of massive importance to taking us forward. Now, there will be only so far we can go with everything in place at the minute, but we are constantly pushing boundaries. There's not one stone we leave unturned as a staff, as a board. You know, we ask what they want to do, and we are aligned in taking the club forward. And it's every little thing, you know, whether it's improving the gym facilities, whether it's improving slightly, you know, the equipment, or whether it's recruiting an extra player, or whatever, that's a member of staff. And whatever we do, we want to take the club forward. And the Newlands Park and the new ground are paramount to taking the club forward for the foreseeable future, because it is very difficult to compete at this level with just what we have in place at the minute. Yes, we are, because we've got a great environment, we do good work, everyone is aligned and moving in the right direction, but we would like to take the next step. And to take the next step, we need those things to come to fruition, and we are looking forward to those. Obviously, pandemic has delayed those things, or sort of thrown a spanner in the works, but we have good people controlling that. So praise the Lord, and hopefully we can all move forward.
Something for us all to look forward to. Just finally, before we announce the winner of the Luton Town Supporters Trust Player of the Season, it'd be remiss of me not to just focus on one particular game towards the end of the season that the fans certainly enjoyed, and from your reaction on the touchlines, you did as well. The victory, courtesy of James Collins' penalty at Kenilworth Road against Watford. Just sum up your feelings on that particular occasion.
Well, look, we realise the importance, and if we didn't realise the importance, the chief exec made sure we did realise the importance and things. But no, we all realise the importance of that game. It's a local derby. You know, they haven't played each other for a while. Watford have done, I know people won't like saying, but done fantastically well and being a Premier League club. But this year, you know, it was a big opportunity, and it's a real shame that fans weren't there, because I think it would have been a wonderful occasion. There's big rivalry there, and rightly so. We were fantastic on the day. We really were aggressive and went after them and unsettled them, because if you don't, they can hurt you. They have £100 million worth of transfer fees that they were even more that can hurt you. So we were, you know, we knew we had to be excellent on the day, and we were fantastic. So maybe that's just a little gift, a little sort of cherry on top of the cake for the fans, and we're glad they enjoyed it. And we know the board enjoyed it, we know players enjoyed it, and we as staff, you know, really did enjoy it. And long may that continue. And whenever Watford stay there, then we'd like those games to be regular. So we're going to have to get there as well.
It is time then for the Luton Town Supporters Trust Player of the Season Award, sponsored by the Bartham Group. We thank you for your time for talking to us, Nathan. And finally then, please announce for us the winner of the award for the season 2020-2021.
The winner is, thoroughly deserved, and congratulating myself, is Simon Sluga.
Simon Sluga is the Luton Town Supporters Trust Player of the Season. Simon, the Supporters Trust members voted you as their Player of the Season in what has been a brilliant year. How does it feel to have the backing of the Luton fans?
Well, the feeling it's unreal, it's unbelievable. I want to thank you all that have voted for me. I know that it wasn't easy to vote for me, especially after the last season and after what you maybe have thought about me. So it have a massive impact on me, this award, and really I wanted to thank you. I think that now in this last year and a half, that we are in a situation where there is no fans on the stands, where the life changed all around. We are now more even aware what the supporters means to us, and just a big thank you for everything, for every game, for the award of course, and to support our great club.
And you've kept 12 clean sheets this season. It's been a fantastic season for you personally, and it will mean so much more when the fans are back in, won't it?
Well, about the clean sheets, yeah, if we need to count them, there are 12, but it's not just about me. Shazy have also 3 of them, so at the end it's in the league it's 15. We can have one more. That it's comparing with the last season, it was great. I know that in League One 2 years ago or 3 seasons ago, Shazy was the best keeper with most clean sheets, so it's something that this club wants to have. It's something that this club needs to have. It's what all the players worth, because it's not just about the keeper, it's about the whole team, the all lads. We're all at the end who is winning or having points or staying in the championship. It's Luton Town, not one player or 2 players. But big effort from all of us this season. I hope the fans and the supporters have more enjoyed it that they were like sad about sometimes. But I think it was at the end. We can all be proud.
Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I do hope you've enjoyed the Luton Town Supporters Trust Player of the Season presentation event for the 2020-2021 campaign. Many thanks to all those who have given their time to speak to us this evening, from players, supporters, and of course our chairman and CEO and the management team as well. We hope you can enjoy the summer, and we look forward to welcoming you all back to Kenilworth Road for the start of the season in August 2021. Meanwhile, stay safe, take care, and enjoy the summer.
You know I want you. It's not a secret I try to hide. You know you want me, so don't keep saying our hands are tied. You claim it's not in the cards, and fate is pulling you miles away and out of reach from me. But you're here in my heart, so who can stop me if I decide that you're my destiny? What if we rewrite the stars? Say you were made to be mine. Nothing could keep us apart. You be the one I was meant to find. It's up to you, and it's up to me. No one can say what we get to be. So why don't we rewrite the stars? Or maybe the world could be ours to
it's easy. You think I don't wanna run to you, yeah, but there are mountains, and there are doors that we can walk through. I know you're wondering why, because we're able to be just you and me within these walls. But when we go outside, you're gonna wake up and see that it was hopeless after all. No one can rewrite the stars. How can you say you'll be mine? Everything keeps us apart, and I'm not the one you were meant to find. It's not up to you, it's not up to me, when everyone tells us what we can be. And how can we rewrite the stars? Say that the world can be ours tonight.
All I want is to fly with you. All I want is to fall with you. So just give me all of you.
It feels impossible.
It's not impossible. Say that it's possible. How do we rewrite the stars? Say you were made to be mine, and nothing can keep us apart. 'Cause you are the one I was meant to find. It's up to you, it's up to me. No one can say what we get to be. Why don't we rewrite the stars, changing the world to be ours?
You know I want you. It's not a secret I try to hide, but I can't have you. We're bound to break and my hands are tied.